and welcome back to this 3-part video series as I help you to get legit. It might be helpful for you to know that this is video 3 of 3, and if you haven't done so already, you need to go and watch the earlier videos, because in those videos we've set the foundations of everything that we need to do to ensure that we can make sure we're actually legit. So in video 1 we worked out what all of our problems were. In video 2 we categorised those problems into headings so that we knew where the big problems were and how we could move forward by looking at each individual task. Within this video I'm going to share with you how contracts work and the things that you might have missed out previously in your contract and that might be causing you a headache. Now, as a bit of context, I have been a lawyer for over 15 years, and as well as running Lucy Legal, which is primarily an online template shop, but we do also have an incredible membership and also courses that you can do. As well as that business, I also have my own law firm. So when I'm talking to you about contracts and contractual clauses, I'm really well placed as I practice as a lawyer every single day to tell you what is happening, what people are putting in contracts, what I'm seeing, what the problems are, where people might get caught out. I am a litigator, so I actually see all of the problems and I can really help you preempt them by making sure that you have these contracts in place. One thing that often comes across my desk, for example, is sponsorship agreements. We're seeing so many more sponsorship deals at the moment, which is amazing. And as part of that, I often have contracts through from some really big companies, like all of the household names, some of the big 4 banks. They cross my desk. I see what they have in their contract, and I can advise my clients as to whether they need them or they need to like push back on having that. So often they'll get the contract from that bank, for example, and that is something that they're not sure, like, do they accept that? Is that just a great clause for them, the bank, to have in? So I've got a lot of expertise at looking at contracts. I know what needs to be in there, and I know what shouldn't be in there as well. I know when you should be like, hang on a second, that's not very fair for you to put that in. So I want to chat to you over the next few minutes to talk about your contract, because it's not just about what you've got in there, but what you're missing is equally important. So it might be that you are thinking of signing a contract as a business owner. It's important to know what's in a contract, what you need to have in a contract, just as much as when you're sending contracts out, okay? You want to make sure that you're getting involved in transactions and business relationships which are beneficial to you, and you want to be able to sleep well at night. And I think that's what my job essentially is. I think that's the best way to look at legal, to be honest, is that it will allow you to sleep well. And I'm not going to do something too super cheesy like say that that's my slogan of like, I help people sleep at night, because although that could be a slogan, it's not what I do, but it's definitely something to bear in mind. Because when we've talked before about that list, when we've talked before about the things that worry you, they are the things that keep people up at night. People worry they're going to get copied. I've had scenarios where clients have been copied, and it's often the moment they're getting really visible. So it might be that you're thinking, I'm going to start working with someone who's in PR. I'm going to get really visible. And as you do that, you think, someone's going to copy me. Or if they don't copy me, they might say I copied them. And how can I prove that I haven't copied them? Maybe you need to look at your trademarks. You do not want to do what my client Maggie did, and she talks about this publicly, and so she's happy for me to share. But she came to me on the 23rd of December, which I think if you've heard this story, you may well know, because I was like, oh my goodness, just before Christmas, came to me and she'd got a cease and desist from one of the biggest companies in the world. She got a cease and desist because she'd gone out with her launch and she'd been sharing it all over social. She'd got Facebook ads running, Meta ads now, but Facebook at the time, and she got ads running to this new thing, and this huge company came and said, that's infringement, like, you can't do that, you can't use that name, it's ours. And she's like, oh no. Had to rebrand the whole thing. Cost her the best part of 15,000 as she'd done all of the graphics, all of the things, and all of her team creating this launch, all of the ads she'd already spent, for it all to be just wasted. Okay? So we need to ensure that we've got the correct protections in place so we know what we're doing. We want to ensure that when we're sending a contract out, it's going to help us, okay? So within this session, I want to look at just a few things in your contract that you might want to look at. One of the key things that you need to think about when you are writing your contract is to tell people what you do. That's not, not hopefully won't come as a surprise. But the key part is you need to tell them what you don't do. What don't you deliver? And I often refer to this as batteries not included, because it's that warning on the box when you're purchasing something, they're saying, this is what you're going to get, but you're not going to get the batteries. So you're going to get this toy, it's possibly really annoying and loud. If you've got young children, you'll know what I mean. You're going to get this toy, but we're not making your job easy, parents. There's no batteries in here. But they are making the job easy, okay? Because they're warning you, they're saying no batteries not included. And I want you to think about what's not included within your service. So, say for example, you're offering a membership or a group offering, and perhaps within that membership, you do not do one-to-one. You don't offer, there's like no one-to-one support. They come to you in a group thing, maybe it's hot seat, maybe it's just like Q&A, whatever it is. And there's no one-to-one. It could be worthwhile flagging that there's no one-to-one support. You will not get bespoke one-to-one support. Perhaps you don't answer people's questions by email. Perhaps you don't answer them via direct message. Perhaps there's no Voxer support. And perhaps there's no support within that product or service they're purchasing. But perhaps there isn't something else. And why batteries not included is so important is because when you flag what's not included, people go, hang on a second, I need that. I need one-to-one. Like, I want to learn about ads. Yes, it might be in a group, but I thought they were going to like help me set them up. Like, I don't know how to pick the audience. I don't know how to do all of that. It's really confusing. And therefore, you then can say, but we do offer one-to-one consultation, so we could do your ad setup the first time for you. That's an additional £500, making the figure up. That's an additional £500 upsell. Brilliant. Someone's gone for that. But they wouldn't have gone for that before. They might have just struggled along with the membership because it wasn't highlighted to them that there actually isn't included in the thing they're buying, but they can add it on as an extra. Okay? So if you've got your pen and paper, making a note, add batteries not included. What do you need to tell people that you won't deliver? The second thing that I see people miss out all of the time, I think it's because they're worried of how it will make them look, when in the actual fact, this is the bit that makes you look like an expert. And this is, tell them what will happen if things go wrong, also known as contingencies. So, whereas sometimes when we start out, we think it's going to all go right, and we get worried that if we say what's going to happen if things go wrong, people will think that we're not very good or that we won't be able to do it on time. So say, for example, there's a website design build. You might be hesitant to include about what will happen if the time frame falls behind because you're thinking, oh, they're going to think I can't keep to the time frame. They won't think that. They'll probably think, wow, she's got lots of experience and she's done this before and she knows that people do not stick to the time frame. Okay? So don't feel nervous about putting in proper contingencies that actually work for you and your business. And those contingencies don't need to be like the worst catastrophe. It's just the day-to-day of what's going to happen. So say, for example, you offer a coaching program. And say you give someone, let's just say like really simple, you give them one session of coaching a week for 12 weeks. What if they're ill? What if you're ill? What if they are moving house within that period? Would you allow them to start? What if they uncover something within the coaching that they're doing with you and they realise they need something else, and they realise, actually, your coaching is amazing and I do need you, but I actually need to go away and do something else first. Maybe it's work on themselves. Maybe it's put something else in place in their business. What happens then? What happens if you're a service provider and you're delivering the service and they go, this is amazing, but it's all gone, it's changed my business, or something has happened and therefore I need to pause? Can they pause? Can they pause if they ask you? Are they allowed to pause? And what if they don't ask you? If they just ghost you and you don't hear from them? Can they just come back and can it restart? If it restarts, do you add on another session? What kind of notice period would they have to give you to restart? It's all of those kind of things. All of those clauses need to be in a contract. And I can help you to put those in place quite simply. You're probably thinking, oh gosh, these sound really hard to word. Like all of those things, yeah, they're all relevant. I need all of that. This is going to take me hours. And it will, because it does take hours. I'm an entrepreneur. I have written I wouldn't say probably thousands of contracts now. I've looked at thousands. If I've not started them from scratch, I've started hundreds and hundreds of contracts myself. We've got a whole template shop full of them. Do you know it takes me like hours? It takes me the best part of a whole day to write a contract from scratch. Even with a template, it's going to take you a bit of time. So it will take you a long time. And that's why I often say to people, find the shortcuts where you can. Definitely as a business owner, we're all so busy. Do you know there's no awards for doing it all yourself? There's no award to be like, oh, I did everything myself. Hey there, I've not had any help in my business. There are awards for delivering great service and being like innovative and doing lots of exciting things within your business and being like the go-to person and getting that reputation. But there's not so much for just doing it all yourself. So I always bear that in mind whenever I want help for something, or whether I realise, am I just doing this the hard way? And I realise actually in life as well, not just in business, there are sometimes shortcuts that we can take, and it's not cheating to do that. It's actually pretty savvy. And the third thing that I wanted to talk to you about contracts were disclaimers. Disclaimers are like your best friend. As a lawyer, they're like the key thing. They're the thing that's going to be in every single thing that you do, and they are important for you, and they're going to be bespoke for you because they are disclaimers which are warnings and flagging to limit your liability. So you're going to want to limit your exposure so that if something does go wrong, you can say, I did tell you, I did warn you about this. And they're really important. So make sure you've got that. You tell people what you don't do, you know your contingencies, and you've got your disclaimers. Now there's a lot in there, and there's a lot to do across this whole process. We've now mapped out, possibly as I said in the video too, you might well have a list longer than when you started. So going through this sort of challenge, as I challenge you to get legit, you might be thinking, Lucy, all I have now is a lot of work to do. And I get that. I understand that. But if you are working in your own business, you've got to do these things. It's not optional, because sooner or later something will happen and you will need to rely on these things. And if everything is in place, you'll be like, yes, this is fine. I know what I'm doing. But if not only will you be worried when it happens, but you'll also be worried about it happening. You'll not feel confident that you can close the laptop on a Friday night and go and enjoy your weekend, because you'll be thinking, is that client going to contact me? Do I need to get back in touch with them? I haven't done what I need to do with my contract, which is set boundaries. Contracts are boundaries. They tell people what you do and what you don't do and how you're going to do the incredible things. They tell people what results that you can get, and they tell people what you can't get. And if you've got all of that in place, you can sleep easy at night. And in the next video, I'm going to share with you how I can help you to get all of that in place in the simplest and easiest way. So if I don't hear from you again, and I appreciate that you might not want to, I'm really passionate about doing things openly and transparently, which is why I'm not selling to you on this video series. I haven't shared anything about how you can work with me and the ways that I work. I'm just going to leave you and invite you to watch the next video. And if you'd like more help, I can help you there. And if not, just thank you. Thank you for doing the things that you do and getting your business out into the world. And whether I see you again or not, good luck. And I really do hope that I do get the chance to work with you and to help you to get your business in a way that works well for you and to help you to get legit.